Hello everyone. So those that follow me on social media know that Vicky was kind enough to drop off a Spellbinders Grand Calibur for me the other night so that I could cut the bases for this Spooktacular Coffin treat box die set from Tonic that I showed in my last haul video that is way too big for a regular die cut machine. Because this die is huge. It won't fit through a standard die cut machine. So yes, it fits through a Grand Calibur. I didn't film that. I did it late at night. I ran a bunch through, so I have my bases. The rest of the dies will fit through my Big Shot. But I have my bases now, so I can make some coffin boxes. So you can make these one of two ways. The way it was intended is just like so. And it actually doesn't open at all, except for the bottom. It's meant to be filled with like little candies, and then there's this fun little shelf or tray that kind of opens up, you know, to pour them out. I think that's so fun. So you can make it that way, the way it's intended, which I'm showing now, or there is a way to make it so that it opens. So forgive if there's any noise in the background. I just thought this would work better to do this, to show as I was making it and talk as I was making it, rather than film and then do a voiceover to try and explain what I'm doing. So I've got my base. It cuts out this whole base. Like I said, you need a large die cut machine. People had said, you know, try using it with like a rolling pin, like the die on cardstock and a rolling pin. You probably could maybe on a craft mat like this. I wasn't even going to go there. That's just not something I'm going to try doing, besides the fact my wrists can't handle that kind of stuff. You need a lot of pressure. Anyway, got my base. And what you want to do is first start folding along all of your score lines so that you've got everything kind of reinforced, and it makes it a lot easier to put this whole thing together if you fold all the score lines in first. So there's all of these little tabs and different things. So you just go along and get her done. Okay. This one on the inside. And this is the last one. So, the side that doesn't have this long piece is the side that has all the little tabs, and that's where you want to add your adhesive, is to these little tabs right here. So I've just got some Scor-Tape, and that's what I'm going to use. So you want to apply, you can use Scor-Tape, red line tape works really good with boxes like this. You can totally use liquid adhesive. You just got to be careful when you're using liquid adhesive as to how much you're using, because liquid adhesive, obviously, you don't want it oozing out everywhere and making a big old mess. So yeah, these little spots, these little tabs are kind of too narrow for this 1/4 inch Scor-Tape, but I'll just fold over the little bits that are kind of hanging over. So I'm just going to take, before it has a chance to really stick onto the cardstock, and just kind of fold that over a little bit. It'll just give it a little extra adhesive. So, just like so. And same with that one, fold it over. This one I want to fold over. There we go. Then we've got that one and that one. So now we've got all our tabs. All you have to do is start sticking them to the piece next to them, and it will start adhering your box. So press it down really well, adhere the next one, press it down really well, and so on. And then this little coffin treat box is going to start coming together. So press that one down, and then you get to the bottom. So I've got my adhesive on here. This is where you take these pieces, fold them inside like so. You fold in these two little tabs. The bottom gets adhered to those tabs, And then these little pieces, they fold in. There's like a cut little notch right here. So both of these will fold into that. And then that's where you've got your little tray. Isn't that fun? And now we can get to decorating it. Okay, so I just have some random, fairly random cardstock from my stash here. I decided to go with purple. And there's so many different dies. I think the set comes with, it says like 28 dies. So you can create a bunch of different boxes. I'll have pictures at the end of some of the ones I've done up. But when it comes to the actual front, sides, you could do the back if you wanted. I'm not going to. These ones you want 2 of, as well as the shorter ones, because you'll have 2 long sides and 2 shorter sides. So you just want to die cut those twice. And again, it's up to personal preference which ones you want to use. There's so many different dies to create so many different decorations. With these ones, I just thought it makes it easier to use a piece of washi tape to hold these dies into place. So I only have to die cut it once instead of die cutting the rectangle and then running it through a second time to die cut like the design. So if I use a little bit of washi tape, that holds it into place just like so. There we go. There we go. And then I have my magnetic platform on my Big Shot. I have a metal shim. That just helps because some of the dies in this set are really, really intricate. So I'm finding the metal shim just helps. And then I've got my dies and I can run these through. So I've got my base. And then these ones, I just take my little piercing tool and my little, I keep a little tiny trash can beside my Big Shot for all the little scraps. Look at that, isn't that awesome? So much fun. I've got that, and then I'm just going to poke right through the washi tape. I want to keep the washi tape in place to hold these dies, but I just want to make sure I've removed all the excess from this before I run this through to get my second cut. So I've got that one, and that one, and then I'll be back in a second with the other 2 pieces. Alrighty, so I've got all of my die cut pieces. It's just a matter of adhering them, and I'm just going to use my Tonic Nouveau adhesive to start putting all of this together. So I've got my cover on. There's a piece too that you can die cut. And again, you can leave it solid or you can add little images, whatever floats your boat. But it's meant to fit right on this little tray. Any adhesive that oozes out, I just pick it up with my fingers and I don't really worry about it too much. So just like so. And then for any of the side pieces, like I said, there's a bunch to choose from in the die set. You could also, again, if you would need a big, large die cut machine. I didn't even think about this until after I had already given the machine back, but you could use these dies and run them through on this die cut itself and create windows into the inside, which I think is really cool. Like, or you could die cut the windows and then back it with coordinating colors of cardstock, like all that kind of stuff. Like the sky's kind of the limit with this set with what all you can do to, you know, customize them and play with them. I think these are just, this is a really, really fun set. If I had more time, maybe for next year, I can do a whole bunch more of these in just the color combos you can do and the combinations and the decorations and the style, everything. You could just go all out and make so much of these. These would be so much fun to use for Halloween treats or to do some little fun decorating with. These would look really cute with those little Halloween houses I made the other day. So yeah, my kids already, they've seen this one and they thought it was pretty cool. It's just fun. Like, so much fun. So yeah, I've got all the sides decorated. There's little like spiders and bats and etc. you can use too to add little decorations. There we go. So I've got all the sides done. And yeah, you can add little spiders and bats to the top if you wanted to. I die cut the skeleton already from some white cardstock, and I kept it in its die because there's so many pieces and it takes a minute to know where everything goes because there's just a lot here. So it kind of helps me to have it like sitting here like this so that I know what I'm doing. Where are my little tweezers? Are here. My little, there we go. So I find with this, it's easiest to start with the rib cage / torso. If you start with this and then kind of adhere around it. This is super detailed. It embosses as well as cuts. Like there's a bunch of grooves down the center of the torso, which is really fun. There's a larger hole here in the neck, and then there's just dots on all of the joints. If you have mini brads, like the little tiny mini ones, you could totally connect all the pieces with mini brads and then pop them up with, you know, some dimension, and he'll dance. Like, I went through my stash, and of course I don't have any, which sucks because I totally 100% would have gone with that if I could have, because I think that would have been just so much fun. So if you have some, I know Art Impressions has been bringing back the mini brads because they've got all those fun like stamp sets and whatnot now that dance around. They actually have a skeleton one too. I think it's bigger than this, a little bit bigger than this, I think. So I've got all my little bone dies here, and I'm just using little dabs. I'm gonna put this guy's arm up since the other one's arm was up. Got all their pieces. Having a little die pick helps a lot. So I'm gonna adhere all of these however you want, really. Yeah. I die cut. I ran through just the top portion of the die and die cut the hat from black cardstock. Although it would look really cute as well. You know, I could have done it from like purple cardstock for this one, etc. Like dress it all up, or die cut it, keep a die cut from white and color it in so you've got different colors. That could work too. Be very, very fun. Let's get his other arm going here. This is just one of the ways. I'll show the other large decorative die that covers this in a second when I show the other way you can make this box so that it opens and isn't just the tray, because I think that just gives you more options, because then you can put larger things in it. Like obviously with this, when you put it together the way it was intended, it's meant for very small candies, you know. So you can just dump some little fun little candies, and they would shake around on the inside too, which is really fun, which would also, if you could make the skeleton dance around and then have shaker candies inside. Oh, Halloween's too close now. I have so many ideas. I wish I could have got this like a month ago, but oh well. Okay, his hand will be down. We'll do that. And then let's get his legs put together here. The packaging helps a ton, FYI. I had to refer to the packaging when I did my first skeleton on here because I was like, what, you know, which bone connects to which bone, and then I want to start like breaking into song. My voice is way too shot for that right now. But it does help because they've got like you know, all the pieces, they show it assembled, and then there's like a bunch of examples and all that kind of stuff, which helps a lot so that you can put this together. I couldn't find a lot of videos on this. I found a couple, like one by Tonic and one on their Facebook page, but I had a hard time finding videos showing how to assemble this. So hopefully this one helps those that have been asking. I've been getting so many. Oh, and just FYI, thank you all. There were so many offers. I've had people offering to sell me their die cut machines, you know, plus shipping. Give me their die cut machines plus shipping. Mail them my die set and they would die cut it for me and send it back, which those offers, I'm sorry, there was no way, time-wise, like, there was no way, and not to mention, like, the cost of shipping, everything else would defeat the purpose. But with Halloween being a week away from me filming this, it just wasn't going to work. So, yeah, I did see, though, I couldn't keep up with all my responses to all of it. But you guys are awesome, and all the offers were very generous, and it was very nice of you. So, I'm very thankful that Vicky doesn't live, well, like, was in the area. So, she was able to bring it with her and lend me her grand caliber so I could cut the bases, and then I was able to get it back to her, and now I'm sharing this video with you guys. So I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna die cut his bow tie from a different color, so I'll be right back. Alrighty, decided on a fun little blue bow tie, because why not? Just gonna dab on a little bit of that. It'll cover up that little hole right there, and that one is done. So there's how the box was intended to be put together, with the fun little tray so you can fill it up with little, you know, little candies. It's a little sweetie box, I guess, as they call it, because yeah, it's just cute. So that is two of the different styles. There's more than that in the die set to decorate the sides with. Isn't that fun? That's so fun! So yeah, I'll be back in a sec to show how to make the box open. Okay, I am back. Now I'm going to show you guys how to make this as an opening box instead of just the little shelf there. So I've put all my adhesive on the flaps on the shorter side that doesn't have this extra piece. And what you want to do is you want to cut off this extra piece at the score line. Do not throw it out. You want to cut that off. And then you want to add adhesive to this piece right there. So you're going to add a little bit there. And again, I'm just using that same 1/4 inch Scor-Tape, and then you want to make sure you folded along all of your score lines here, which I'd forgot to do a couple of them. Okay, so now we can assemble the box the same as before. So I'm just going to adhere all these little tabs that have the adhesive on them, just like so, to create my little coffin treat box. Now we're at this part. What you want to do is you want to take this piece and adhere. Normally it would have been attached here, you know, to open like it did, but instead you're still going to adhere it to this bottom part. I find that kind of closing the box helps a little bit. I have a few seconds here to ensure that everything is lined up. So you've got this adhered, and then you fold it in just like before. So insert it into that little area, just like so. And because you've placed adhesive there, you're going to glue that down. Now don't worry about adhesive peeking out. I'm going to cover that in a minute. But now you've got an opening and closing box. So you can do one of two things. You can leave it as is, just like this. The pieces will fold in. and it closes. And I actually did one off camera, and that's what I did. I just left it as is, and I decorated the back, which I will show this in a minute, and I just left it like that, which works fine. So then you've got this opening box you can fill with like larger treats. You can put mini chocolate bars in there, etc., which I think is so much fun. So you've got that option, and then you have the way it was intended to be. So you got like the two options. Or what you can do, if you want to make this, instead of having all these little pieces flapping about, you can create little hinges. I just I cut down pieces of black cardstock that are just slightly shorter than the sides. So I've got 3 of them here. I basically cut 3 rectangles of black cardstock. I scored down the middle so it creates little hinges. And then I have adhesive on the outsides, on both sides. So I've got my adhesive. I can then insert that into the corner and create an actual solid piece here. There we go. So that way it's going to keep the flaps from going all over the place. So it's an extra step. You don't have to do it. Again, it's just kind of up to personal preference and how you want your little coffin box to function and look. So you just insert those into place, press those. So you only need 3 of them because there's only the 3 flap where the flaps meet there. So if you've got 3 little pieces with the adhesive on them, your 3 little hinges, as it were, and then it's a solid piece. So it just fits a little bit better. So you can have it that way, or you can have it like that. Again, personal preference. Okay, now for the decoration. So, like I've said a million times, there's tons of dies in the set that you can use to decorate. I used, these are 3 separate dies. I've just taped them together with some washi tape. That's how I decorated this box. So I just ran this through with the pink cardstock and then layered it over top. This large die only fits on the back of this. So if you were gonna use it for these ones where you've got the flap, you can see it's gonna be too big. It's meant for the back. So you can also decorate the back or just have this as a solid piece on the back. And I'll die cut a solid piece in a minute and show you guys. But yeah, I ran that through with the 3 separate pieces because you can also use just this piece on the front of these. That's why they have it separate. Like, they've thought of everything. So what you can also do though, instead of doing it just from colored cardstock here, is I'm gonna die cut this from black cardstock and then layer it over a color just to show some variation here. Alrighty, let's run this large one through with some black cardstock. And while I'm doing the die cutting, I'm going to die cut some of my side panels here. And like I've been saying, I've just been lining up some of the center decorative pieces with the different frame options because there's several. So I've just been lining them up and taping them with washi tape just to hold everything in place and to save me from having to die cut things multiple times when I don't actually need to. So we're just gonna go like that. That should work. There we go. And same sandwich, I've got my magnetic platform, my metal shim, cutting plate, dies, cardstock, cutting plate, and then I'm gonna run this through. So, this one, it's hard to see of course, because it's black, but you just gotta pop out all of these center little pieces, and then we'll have the outline. So I'll get to that in a minute. So we've got that, and then we have our fun little side pieces. Same thing, this one says Happy Halloween. So I'm gonna pop out all the centers, and then I've got my little shorter spiderweb one. So I'm gonna die cut these a second time. I'm dropping everything everywhere. And then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my popped up piece, but obviously you can see it on here. There you go. Which actually looks really cool. The black on black, that looks gorgeous. But I want some color, so I'm going to remove these two center piece dies here from this frame piece, and I'm going to die cut just the frame from some more of this green cardstock. So get that lined up and then run that through my machine. Just like so. So now I have my frame piece, which I can overlay this on top of. Love that. Okay, so I have finished all of my super fun little coffin treat boxes, and here's the one that I just showed last with the sealed opening. So all of the sides now, I added that piece to the back just to cover up the fold. It's not a necessary thing. I didn't on this one. I just made sure to keep the adhesive like actually underneath. But that one's got the little hinges, so it's all one piece and it opens like so. And then this one, I didn't use the hinges, so it's just like that. So personal preference. And then I'd mentioned you could use this die cut on the smaller piece that works with the standard way the box was meant to be. So it's die cut and then it's still, you know, a solid box with the opening so you can fill it with little candies that'll, you know, pour out. So those are the Tonic Spooktacular Coffin Treat Box die set. These are so much fun to make. I have no idea how long this video is. I won't know till I splice everything together to edit it, but thank you so much for watching. Huge thank you to Vicky for lending me her grand caliber so I could cut out the base of all of these. And thank you to all of you that were offering, you know, machines and lending and me mailing and all the different things, you know. You guys really stepped up. It was awesome. I wish I could have responded to every single comment, but there were just too many. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, I'll link to everything in the description box below the video, as well as on my blog. Hopefully I'll be able to squeeze out a few more Halloween projects before the actual day, because it's just so much fun. And this is like the last week, you know, leading up to that, and it's just been a lot of fun. So, like I said, check out my blog post below the video. I'll have the pictures and links and all that kind of stuff. My Facebook page, always fun over on there, you know, all that stuff. It's always linked down below. So yeah, thank you guys, and I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye!